flag has a lot of historical significance, and some history professors have been trying to encourage the public to learn more about that and the history of the South.
That includes Chad Williams, an associate professor of African and Afro-American studies at Brandeis University, who's actually started a hashtag Charleston syllabus to encourage people to share information about the South's history. Professor joins us now by Skype. First of all, just to be clear, are you for or against the flag?
I'm very much for the flag being removed. It's a relic of history. It belongs in a museum. The debate about the history of the Confederacy and the Confederate flag should have ended when Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant in Appomattox in 1865. So I believe that the flag really has no place in our current public culture.
Let's talk a little bit about this hashtag that you started here. We said it's Charleston syllabus. Explain a little bit more about what you're hoping to do with that.
Sure. Well, I was inspired by the Ferguson syllabus, which was established by Professor Marcia Chaitlin after the uprising in Ferguson, Missouri, which became an incredible resource to educate the public about the range of events surrounding Ferguson, but also to serve as a teaching resource as well. And I realized that there was no such similar resource related to the events in Charleston. And this was and is an incredibly important historic event that historians, educators are going to be grappling with for some time. So it's very important that we have the educational resources to be able to teach about Charleston, to be able to provide the historical context, but to also to give the American public at large the resources to educate themselves.
Now, Professor, you understand the South has a great deal of rich history, and there are a lot of people, both white and black, who believe that the flag can also stand as just a symbol of just the Southern pride without the racism background. Is that possible, or are they linked forever?
Well, I think the problem with making that claim is that it assumes that Southern pride and Southern culture is monolithic. When we talk about the flag representing Southern pride, we need to be more specific that it represents white Southern pride. The Confederate flag was the battle flag of the Confederacy. The Confederacy was founded on the core principle of the preservation of slavery and white supremacy. The invocation of the flag throughout the 19th, throughout the 20th century, and even today is rooted in that history. So to divorce that very ugly history from what the flag represents, I think does a disservice to our history.
Chad, we want to play a soundbite here because we have seen some people come to the flag's defense, including the Sons of Confederate Veterans. They said this. Take a listen to this, and then we'll get your reaction.
Sure.
What a terrible thing to happen, and you know that's the influence of Satan there. I don't think that flag had anything to do with it. But the flag didn't cause him to do that. Hate caused him to do that.
What would you say to that when you hear that? Essentially, does the flag itself breed hatred, do you think, or represent it, I guess?
The history of the Confederate flag is rooted in hatred. It's rooted in a hatred of blackness. It's rooted in a hatred, a resistance to racial equality. It's rooted in a core belief in white supremacy. And that's remained the case throughout, as I said, the 19th, 20th, and into the 21st century. But I also think it's important to recognize that the flag itself, the Confederate flag itself, did not cause Dylann Roof to enact this horrible massacre. It was part of symptomatic of the larger culture of the history of white supremacy in the South, in the country more broadly. When we think about recent events, when we think about the kind of new era of massive resistance under the Obama presidency, Dylann Roof's actions, form a much more disturbing context.
Yeah, Professor, taking the flag down won't fix anything very, very quickly, but we do appreciate your time. Chad Williams, Associate Professor at Brandeis University.
Thanks for being with us.